Okay, going to try and do 2 slabs of meat low and slow on the Weber today and see how soft and tender we can get them. I'm probably going to smoke these 2 cuts of meat overnight, I'm thinking, for dinner tomorrow night. So what I've got is some beef short ribs, pretty meaty there. They're 5 bone. It's the bottom there. I'm going to pull the membrane off the back here. There's plenty of videos showing how to do that, and I've got a previous one that I've shown how to do that. There's a bit of fat on this side here. I'll probably trim that up, clean it up. Then I've got a pork butt or a Boston butt, which is pretty much the shoulder bone in. It did have a big piece of skin on the top there, which the butcher cut off for me. And now these are going to cook at the same time, both of them, but I'm going to put 2 rubs on them. For the pork, I'm using a store-bought rub, which is this one that I bought at the butcher with the rub, with the butt. It's a mustard, vinegar and spice based rub, and it says it's pretty good for pulled pork, so we'll see. The ingredients it says got is salt, brown sugar, mustard flour, onion, garlic, yeast, apple, cider, vinegar, yada yada yada, all that sort of crap. For the beef, I'm going to make my own rub of onion powder, garlic powder, some black peppercorn and some sea salt. I'm going to put all those together, smash them up in my mortar and pestle and create as fine a powder as I can, and then I'm going to sprinkle that all over the edges of all my beef ribs. I've been mashing that up a little while now. It's pretty nice and fine. I like the rub to be fine. So it's about, I'd say it's about 4 parts salt, 1 part pepper, half a part of garlic, and probably 1 part of onion that I've put in there roughly. I just sort of do it by eye until I sort of think it's okay, and just watch that you don't do too much pepper so that's too spicy. Depends how you like it, but I'm going to season those up, get the beef ribs ready, let them sit in the rub for a few hours. Then I'm going to prepare the snake on the Weber using the snake method. I'm going to put them on really late tonight, let them cook, I think, for, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, maybe even 14 hours overnight, and then let them sit rested and wrapped for 4 or 5 hours before eating them tomorrow night. Okay, so here we go. We're going to season up the pork butt with the rub. Going to be really liberal with it and put heaps of it everywhere. Then I'm going to massage it in with my hands, roll it around, and then refrigerate it for a little while and let that really take. Okay, so the pork butt's all rubbed up. It may not look like it in the video, but it is very liberal. Let me tell you, I've used of this jar. Oh, I've used quite a bit. Can't really see because of the label, but yeah, but that rub's got a really vinegary mustard aroma coming off, almost like a lemony aroma. Looks quite yellow. Don't know how much that'll come up in the video, but it does smell really good, so it'll be interesting to see how it tastes. So I'm going to let that sit in the fridge now till probably about half an hour to an hour before I'm ready to whack it on the barbie. At about an hour before, I'm going to take it out, let it just come up to room temperature. I find that meat cooks better when it's at room temperature rather than out of the fridge. That's my personal opinion anyway. So I'll bring that out about an hour before I've got to put on the barbie, and let it come up to temperature. And when I do that, I'll probably just shake a bit more rub on it, because I'm sure some of the moisture from the fridge and the pork is going to absorb some of that, so it'd be nice to put a bit more rub on it, which will help it, I think, maybe give it a bit of crispiness. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, so here are our beef ribs out of the pack. 5 bone rib, nice sort of really good looking beef. There's a lot of marbling through it there. You can see the nice 5 bones. So there's a fair bit of fat up here. I'm just going to trim a bit of it back. I like to get exposed to the meat as much as possible on my beef ribs. There's a fair bit of fat on that side. Look, a lot of that will render down. I'm going to leave that. But then the big thing is, of course, the membrane on the back. You've got to get that off. And then I'm going to rub the whole thing in my salt, pepper, garlic and onion rub, which I made and put in this little sprinkler bottle. Ready to sprinkle on top. Now, as far as the membrane is concerned, what we want to do is we want to lift off a corner of the membrane. Normally the membrane will then pull back in one sheet and stay intact, and if it gets a bit too slippery and slimy, grab it with a paper towel on the corner. But just try and get under it. This one's already coming off nicely, right? You can hear that sound. That's the sort of sound you want to hear, like that. You can see it's staying in one piece, and because this membrane, when it cooks, will go like really hard and thick, and it's quite yucky. But yeah, I'm going to proceed to rip all that off by hand now. So just want to show you this. I've been really lucky with this membrane. You can see it here. It's all come off in one sheet without breaking, and it's come off really easy. I'll probably just pull the rest off like that while I'm holding my phone so you can see it. There you go. Whole membrane's just come off, and that's what we want. It's all off, and that stuff there is just crap, and it can just go in the bin. Okay, so the beef ribs are now ready to go. They've been rubbed pretty liberally with my homemade salt, pepper, garlic and onion rub. I'm now going to wrap those with a bit of cling wrap, put those in the fridge. Once again, I'll bring them out about an hour before it's time to put them in the barbecue, just to let them come up to room temperature. Okay, so we've got the Weber ready now. I've got my thermometer probes in there ready to go for my iGrill. They're all hanging down the side. So once I put the grill on and I get the thermometers probes into the meat, we can set all that up. I've got my heat beat set in the snake method, 2 wide, 3 high. Some smoking chips put on top. I've got a drip tray there ready, which I'll pour boiling hot water out of the kettle when I'm just about to put the meat on. That'll help keep moisture inside of the barbecue. It helps regulate the temperature and keeps things cooking nicely. So now we've got a few hours until the sun sets. It's a nice day in Sydney today. It is in the middle of the winter. We've had some really cold days and nights, but today's a spectacular day. It's about 18 degrees Celsius outside. Just a tad fresh with a tiny little bit of breeze, but a really nice day. But it will get really chilly overnight. They're saying 2 to 3 degrees Celsius tonight overnight. But that should be fine for us to cook away our pork butt, our Boston butt, and our beef ribs. Okay, so here we are with our 2 slabs of meat that we're about to put on. It's now 11:30 at night in Sydney. So here you go, it's almost midnight. There's the sky, it's pitch black, couple street lights out there you can see. But that's the sky, it's pitch black. But yeah, it's 11:30 at night. So there's our beef ribs ready to go on with our salt, pepper, onion and garlic that's been put on it. And this is the pork butt with the rub that we bought, and then what I've put on top of that rub as well is some brown sugar, which I have mixed with some paprika to give it a bit of redness and that sort of red brown colour, and just a tiny little bit of chipotle powder just to give it a bit of kick. The barbecue is now on. The starter beads have been put on the snake. Just put them on just a minute or two ago. You probably can't see it there, but the iGrill is already up to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Got a ways to go. We're going to get it up to about somewhere between 230 and 250. Throw the meat on, and off we go. We can feel the temp already starting to come out of the vents there, so it is increasing. Yeah, so we're now going to put that on, and then I'm going to go to bed. I'll probably just wait 20 minutes once I've put the meat on, just to make sure that the vents are looking good and the temperature's nicely regulated. I'm going to fill a water pan in there. The water pan's already in there with boiling hot water. Just that'll help stabilize the temp. I'm going to let this go for somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. I'll see what the internal temps are on the probes in the morning when I get up. Look for a wrap on the pork. Probably try to see how it goes, but I'll probably wrap it maybe at about 160 to 165, and looking to take it off over 190, closer to the 195 mark. Well, it's 7:30 in the morning. I've just got up, so the barbecue's now been going for about 7.5 hours. The iGrill's showing that the temp's at about 270, which is a little bit high. So is the Weber on the top showing at about 270. I can see a little light smoke billowing out. At this stage, the iGrill is saying that the ribs are actually done. It's saying they're at about 191, so I'm going to test those and see. And the pork's showing at about 170, which if it is, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to wrap. So let's have a look how it looks. It's the first time I'm having a look, because it's 7:30 in the morning, just got out of bed. Literally straight out of bed and down here. Okay, here we go, here we go. Well, yeah. Look at those ribs. They've pulled back beautifully. So I'd say the ribs definitely look to me to be done. Definitely. The pork looks good. I'd say it's got a ways to go, but the pork, to be honest. It's wobbly. So I think we're going to let the pork go more. I think the ribs are going to come off for a wrap. So just an update, the beef ribs have been taken off. They were sitting at about 192 degrees. They were looking good, and now here's what the pork looks like. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's currently internally at about 170. I'm just giving it a baste with apple juice, and then I might leave it for another half hour, then wrap. Pulled pork being done, whole pork butt. Ooh, looking very soft and ready to pull apart. Look at that. Oh my god. Nice. Okay, so it's now just before midday. So the pork butt has been on now for 12 hours exactly. The ribs obviously we took off earlier. Now I'll quickly just show you what the iGrill is saying. So the grill temp there is at 239, that's the top one. You can see it's kept a nice stable grill temp with the snake method and just keeping those vents regulated and the water bath in there. I wrapped the pork at about the 165, 167 mark, and you can see now over the last couple of hours on the graphing there, it's just nicely risen where all three probes, which are in different parts of the meat, are all about the same, that 179, 178 mark. So it is currently wrapped in foil. I'm going to take that off now at the 180 mark. I'm fairly happy with 180 because I'm going to let this rest now for about 4 to 5 hours at least. We're not eating till about 4:30, 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I think all that time resting is really going to help moisten the meat, soften it up, especially given that it's wrapped in its foil, and it will reabsorb all of its juices. Before I wrapped, gave it a couple more brushes with the apple juice, and this is what we're looking like. I'm going to take this right off because we're going to take the meat out. The snake wise, got a couple of beads left there on the snake, not many. Everywhere else it's just ash. Over here we've got a little bit left, which is powering on that last little bit of heat. And you can see the water pan there, really there's not much water left, it's all dry. That's just the drippings that have fallen in there. So we're going to take our little wrapped piece of meat off, and we're going to let this set and stay nice and warm till we're ready to eat it.